The awakening. In the depths of space, an ancient signal stirred. Long dormant systems flickered to life, shaking off the dust of millennia. Deep within Earth's moon, hidden chambers unsealed themselves, revealing row upon row of sleek warships, humanity's secret guardians, waiting patiently for the day they would be needed. Admiral Sarah Chen stood on the bridge of the newly awakened flagship, the ESS Thunderchild. Her dark eyes scanned the holographic displays, taking in the status reports of the reactivated fleet. After centuries of slumber, Earth's most powerful weapons were ready for action once more. Status report, she barked, her voice crisp with authority. Lieutenant Rodriguez, still adjusting to his hastily assigned role, fumbled with his console. All systems coming online. Admiral. Weapon systems at 95% capacity. Shields fully operational. The rest of the fleet reports similar readiness levels. Chen nodded, a grim smile playing across her lips. Good. We're going to need every advantage we can get. The reason for the fleet's awakening was displayed on the main view screen. A massive alien armada, bearing down on Earth with clear hostile intent. The Zarkesh, a warlike species from the galactic core, had decided that humanity's rapid expansion into space was a threat to their dominion. Their solution was simple: eradicate the upstart species before they became too powerful. What the Zarkesh didn't know was that humanity had prepared for this day. Centuries ago, when humans first ventured beyond their solar system, they discovered the remnants of an ancient and highly advanced civilization. This precursor race had left behind technology far beyond anything Earth possessed, and warnings of the dangers that lurked in the cosmic darkness. Taking these warnings to heart, Earth's leaders had secretly constructed this fleet, infusing it with the best of human ingenuity and precursor tech. Then they hid it away, a fail-safe for humanity's darkest hour. That hour had finally arrived. Admiral, Rodriguez called out, his voice tense. We're receiving a transmission from the Zarkesh fleet. Chen straightened her uniform. On screen, the holographic display flickered, revealing the alien commander. The Zarkesh were vaguely insectoid, with chitinous exoskeletons and compound eyes that gleamed with cold intelligence. When it spoke, its mandibles clicked in a way that sent shivers down the spines of the human crew. Humans, the alien's translator rendered its clicks and chirps into English. Your species has been deemed a threat to galactic stability. Surrender now, and we will make your extermination quick and painless. Resist, and we will ensure your suffering echoes across the cosmos for eons to come. Chen's eyes narrowed. This is Admiral Sarah Chen of the Earth Defense Fleet. We will not surrender. We will not go quietly into the night. If you want our world, you'll have to pry it from our cold, dead hands. The Zarkesh commander's compound eyes flashed with what might have been amusement. So be it, human. Your bravado is admirable, if foolish. Your pathetic defenses are no match for our might. We will crush you like the insects you are. The transmission cut off, leaving the bridge in tense silence. Chen turned to her crew, seeing a mix of fear and determination on their faces. These men and women had been awakened from centuries of cryosleep, thrust into a battle for the very survival of their species. They were the best humanity had to offer, but they were facing an enemy that had conquered entire galaxies. I know what you're all thinking, Chen said, her voice calm but filled with steel. The odds are against us. The enemy outnumbers us, outguns us. By all logical measures, this is a fight we cannot win. She paused, letting her words sink in. But logic doesn't account for the human spirit. We've faced extinction before. Ice ages, plagues, world wars. Each time, we've come back stronger. We are survivors, innovators, dreamers. And today, we fight not just for ourselves, but for every species that has fallen to the Zarkesh, for every world they've burned. She gestured to the view screen where the enemy armada loomed. They think they know what we're capable of. They've cataloged our weapons, analyzed our tactics. but they have no idea what they're truly facing. This fleet is humanity's greatest achievement, the culmination of our technology, our creativity, and the legacy of those who came before us. We are not just fighting with ships and guns, but with the indomitable will of every human who has ever lived, who has ever dreamed of the stars. Chen's eyes blazed with fierce determination. So let them come. Let them throw their full might against us. We will show them that humanity is not so easily erased from the universe. We will fight, we will endure, and we will win. A cheer went up from the crew, fear giving way to resolve. As one, they turned to their stations, ready to face the coming storm. Chen settled into the command chair, her fingers dancing over the controls. All ships, battle formations. Prepare to engage the enemy. Today, we fight for Earth. The ancient fleet surged forward, humanity's last, best hope against the darkness that threatened to engulf them. The battle for Earth's survival was about to begin. First contact. The void of space erupted into a dazzling light show as the human and Zarkesh fleets clashed. Energy beams lanced across the darkness, while swarms of missiles left trails of blue fire in their wake. The ESS Thunderchild led the charge, its advanced shields shrugging off the initial barrage of Zarkesh weapons. Admiral Chen's hands gripped the arms of her command chair as the ship shuddered under enemy fire. Status report, she barked. Lieutenant Rodriguez's fingers flew over his console. Shields holding at 82%, Admiral. Our return fire is having minimal effect on their larger vessels. Chen's mind raced, analyzing the battle unfolding before her. The Zarkesh ships were individually more powerful, but the human fleet was faster, more agile. All ships implement attack pattern Omega-3. Let's see how these bugs handle some old-fashioned human ingenuity. The human fleet broke formation, individual ships darting between the lumbering Zarkesh vessels. It was a risky maneuver, bringing them dangerously close to the enemy's weapons, but it also confused the Zarkesh targeting systems. The space around the alien ships bloomed with explosions as they struggled to track the nimble human vessels, often hitting their own ships in the process. On the Thunderchild's bridge, a cheer went up as a Zarkesh cruiser erupted into a ball of flame. But Chen's expression remained grim. They had bloodied the enemy's nose, but this was far from over. As if to emphasize her thoughts, a massive energy beam lanced out from the Zarkesh flagship, cutting through 3 human destroyers like they were made of paper. The bridge fell silent, the crew's earlier elation evaporating in an instant. Admiral, Rodriguez called out, his voice tight with tension. We're receiving an incoming transmission from the enemy flagship. Chen nodded. On screen, the holographic display flickered to life, revealing the Zarkesh commander. Its compound eyes seemed to glow with malicious glee. Impressive. Humans, you fight with more skill than we anticipated. But surely you must see the futility of your resistance. Surrender now, and we may yet be merciful. Chen's eyes narrowed. We've seen your kind of mercy before, Zarkesh. The answer is still no. The alien's mandibles clicked in what might have been laughter. Such spirit. It will make crushing you all the more satisfying. We've conquered 1,000 worlds, extinguished entire civilizations. What makes you think you can stand against us? A small smile played across Chen's lips. Because we're human. We don't know how to give up. With a gesture, she cut the transmission. All ships, she commanded, prepare to deploy the Lazarus Protocol. Rodriguez's eyes widened. Admiral, the Lazarus Protocol hasn't been tested in actual combat. The risks are less than the risk of doing nothing. Chen finished. Sometimes you have to roll the hard 6, Lieutenant. Throughout the human fleet, hidden compartments opened in the hulls of the ships. Swarms of what looked like metallic insects poured forth, each no bigger than a human hand. These were the Lazarus nanites, one of the most closely guarded secrets of the ancient fleet. As the swarms approached the Zarkesh ships, the aliens opened fire, their energy weapons swatting the tiny machines out of space by the thousands. But for every nanite destroyed, 10 more took its place. They latched onto the hulls of the enemy vessels, burrowing through armor plating with terrifying efficiency. Inside the Zarkesh ships, confusion turned to panic as systems began to fail. Weapons went offline, engines sputtered and died. Some ships simply went dark, drifting lifelessly in space. On the Thunderchild's bridge, Shen watched the battle with intense focus. "Now," she said quietly, "all ships, concentrate fire on the disabled vessels. Don't give them a chance to recover." The human fleet unleashed a devastating barrage. Zarkesh ships, their defenses crippled by the nanites, stood no chance against the onslaught. One by one, they erupted into spectacular explosions, leaving only scattered debris behind. For a moment, it seemed like victory was within grasp. But then, a massive energy surge emanated from the Zarkesh flagship. A wave of electromagnetic energy washed over the battlefield, frying the nanites and restoring power to the surviving alien vessels. "Clever insects," Chen muttered. She had hoped the Lazarus Protocol would be their silver bullet, but the Zarkesh had managed to adapt. The battle was far from over. As if to drive this point home, the restored Zarkesh ships launched a ferocious counterattack. Energy beams and plasma torpedoes streaked across space, overwhelming the defenses of several human vessels. The bridge of the Thunderchild shook violently as a near miss grazed their shields. "Admiral," Rodriguez called out, his voice strained, "we've lost a third of the fleet. The Zarkesh are regrouping for another assault." Chen's mind raced, searching for options. They had bloodied the enemy, shown them that humanity was not to be trifled with. But the Zarkesh still held the advantage in numbers and firepower. If they stayed and fought, the entire fleet would be destroyed, leaving Earth defenseless. With a heavy heart, Chen made her decision. "All ships, initiate emergency jump protocols. We're falling back to Rally Point Alpha." As the human fleet disappeared into the swirling vortexes of hyperspace, Chen stared at the tactical display, her jaw set in determination. They had lost this battle, but the war was far from over. Humanity had shown its teeth, and the Zarkesh had felt their bite. Now it was time to regroup, to plan, to bring the full weight of human ingenuity to bear. The Zarkesh thought they had won. They were about to learn just how wrong they were. The Cosmic Forge. The ESS Thunderchild emerged from hyperspace at Rally Point Alpha, a hidden asteroid base deep in the Kuiper Belt. As the rest of the battered human fleet materialized around them, Admiral Chen couldn't help but feel a pang of guilt. They had survived, but at a terrible cost. "Damage report," she ordered, her voice heavy with fatigue. Lieutenant Rodriguez, his uniform stained with sweat and soot, consulted his console. "We've lost 40% of our fleet, Admiral. The remaining ships are reporting varying degrees of damage. It'll take weeks to get us back to full fighting strength." Chen nodded grimly. "We don't have weeks. Begin immediate repairs. I want every ship combat ready in 72 hours. As the crew scrambled to carry out her orders, Chen made her way to the asteroid base's central command center. There she found Dr. Aisha Patel, the fleet's chief scientist, poring over holographic schematics. "Tell me you have good news, Doctor," Chen said as she approached. Patel looked up, her eyes gleaming with excitement despite the dire situation. "Better than good, Admiral. I think I've cracked the code on the precursor technology we found in the Orion Arm. If I'm right, it could turn the tide of this war." Chen leaned in, studying the complex diagrams floating before them. "Explain." "We've always assumed the precursor tech was purely defensive," Patel began, her hands dancing through the hologram to highlight specific sections. "But I've discovered references to something called the Cosmic Forge. It's not just a weapon. It's a matter manipulator on a scale we've never imagined." Chen's eyebrows rose. "Matter manipulation? You mean like our nanites?" Patel shook her head. "Think bigger. Much bigger. The Cosmic Forge doesn't just reshape matter, it creates it. With this, we could literally forge new planets, new stars, or She paused, her eyes meeting Chen's. We could unmake them. The implications hit Chen like a physical blow. A weapon of such power could annihilate entire star systems. It was terrifying, but it might be exactly what they needed to stop the Zarkesh. Can we build it? Chen asked. Patel nodded slowly. I believe so. But there's a catch. The power requirements are enormous. We'd need to harvest energy directly from a star. Chen's mind raced, considering the possibilities and risks. It was dangerous, potentially catastrophic if something went wrong. But they were fighting for the survival of their species. Sometimes the biggest risks brought the greatest rewards. Do it, Chen ordered. I'll assign you a team and whatever resources you need. How long will it take? Patil thought for a moment. With a full team working around the clock, maybe a week. But Admiral, there's something else you should know. Hesitated, her expression grave. The precursor record suggests that weapons like this are what led to their own extinction. They became too powerful, too destructive. They couldn't control what they'd created. Chen felt the weight of command bearing down on her shoulders. The fate of humanity, perhaps of the entire galaxy, would be decided by her next moves. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it, Doctor. For now, focus on building the forge. We'll worry about controlling it once we have it. As Paddle hurried off to begin work, Chen turned her attention back to the fleet. The next few days were a blur of activity. Ships were repaired, strategies were planned and discarded, and all the while, the specter of the advancing Zarkesh fleet loomed over them. 5 days into the work on the Cosmic Forge, Chen received alarming news. The Zarkesh had located Earth and were preparing for a full-scale invasion. They had perhaps 48 hours before the alien armada would be in striking distance of humanity's homeworld. Chen called an emergency meeting of her top officers. We're out of time, she announced to the grim-faced group. The Cosmic Forge isn't ready, and even if it was, we don't know if it would work. We need a new plan. For a long moment, silence reigned in the command center. Then, Lieutenant Rodriguez spoke up. What about the sun, Admiral? If we can't use it to power the forge, maybe we can use it as a weapon itself. Chen leaned forward, intrigued. Go on. Rodriguez gulped, clearly nervous about suggesting such an audacious plan. Well, our ships are equipped with gravity manipulators for FTL travel. If we could modify them, amplify their power, we might be able to trigger a controlled solar flare. Aim it right at the Zarkesh fleet. The room erupted into heated discussion. It was a crazy plan, full of risks. If they miscalculated, they could destroy Earth themselves. But as Chen listened to the debate, she realized it might be their only chance. All right, she said, silencing the room. We go with Rodriguez's plan. Dr. Patel, I need you to switch gears. Work with engineering to modify our gravity drives. The rest of you, prepare the fleet. We're going to give the Zarkesh a welcome they'll never forget. As the meeting adjourned and her officers rushed to carry out their orders, Chen stood alone, staring out at the stars. In less than 2 days, they would either save Earth or witness its destruction. The fate of humanity rested on their shoulders, and failure was not an option. With a deep breath, Chen straightened her uniform and headed for the bridge. It was time to rally the troops and prepare for the battle that would decide the future of their species. The Zarkesh thought they were facing a primitive, doomed race. They were about to learn just how fierce humanity could be when pushed to the brink. The Solar Gambit. The human fleet hung in the shadow of Mercury, a collection of battered but determined vessels facing the approaching Zarkesh armada. At the center of the formation, the ESS Thunderchild bristled with newly modified gravity manipulators, the key to their desperate plan. On the bridge, Admiral Chen stood before her crew, her face a mask of resolute determination. This is it, she said, her voice carrying to every corner of the ship. Everything we fought for, everything we've lost. It all comes down to this moment. The Zarkesh think they're here to witness the end of humanity. Instead, They're going to see what happens when you back us into a corner." She paused, looking each crew member in the eye. "I won't lie to you. What we're about to attempt has never been done before. The risks are enormous. But the alternative is the extinction of our species, the end of everything we hold dear. So we will not falter. We will not fail. For Earth, for humanity, we will prevail." A cheer went up from the crew, a battle cry that echoed through the ship. Chen turned to face the view screen, where the Zarkesh fleet was now clearly visible, a swarm of alien vessels blocking out the stars. "All ships, battle positions," Chen ordered. "Initiate Operation Solar Flare." The human fleet sprang into action, smaller vessels darting forward to engage the Zarkesh vanguard, while the Thunderchild and other capital ships moved into position around the sun. Energy beams and missiles crisscrossed the void as the two forces clashed. On the Thunderchild's bridge, Lieutenant Rodriguez called out, "Admiral, we're in position. Gravity manipulators are charged and ready." Chen nodded, her eyes never leaving the tactical display. "Begin the sequence. All ships, prepare for emergency jump on my mark." The modified gravity manipulators hummed to life, their energy output far beyond their original design specifications. The fabric of space-time began to warp around the sun, invisible forces tugging at its fiery surface. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then, with a burst of light that outshone the sun itself, a massive solar flare erupted, arcing out into space. The human fleet vanished into hyperspace just as the wave of superheated plasma washed over their previous position. The Zarkesh, caught completely off guard by this unprecedented tactic, had no time to react. The solar flare engulfed their fleet, melting through hull plating and overloading shields. Ships exploded or went dark by the dozens, the pride of the Zarkesh armada reduced to floating debris in a matter of minutes. As the human fleet re-emerged from hyperspace, a stunned silence fell over the Thunderchild's bridge. The Zarkesh fleet, which had seemed unstoppable mere moments ago, was now a scattered ruin. "Status report," Chen demanded, breaking the silence. Rodriguez, his voice filled with awe, responded, "The Zarkesh fleet has been decimated, Admiral. We're detecting multiple distress signals and escape pods. Their remaining capital ships are in full retreat." A cheer went up from the crew, but Chen silenced them with a raised hand. "This isn't over yet. Dispatch rescue teams to the escape pods and get me a direct line to the Zarkesh command ship." Moments later, the scared face of the Zarkesh commander appeared on the view screen. Its compound eyes, once filled with arrogant superiority, now showed a mix of fear and grudging respect. "You've won this battle, human," the alien growled. "But do not think this is the end. The Zarkesh Empire spans galaxies. We will return, and when we do..." Chen cut him off. "When you do, you'll find us waiting. You came here thinking we were easy prey, a primitive species ripe for conquest. Now you know better. We may not have your numbers or your technology, but we have something you can't match. The will to survive, to adapt, to overcome any obstacle." She leaned forward, her voice low and dangerous. "So run back to your empire. Tell them what happened here. And know this: if you ever threaten Earth again, what you experience today will seem like a mere taste of what we're capable of." The Zarkesh commander stared at her for a long moment, then cut the transmission without another word. Chen turned to her crew, allowing herself a small smile. "Stand down from battle stations. Begin recovery operations." As the adrenaline of battle faded, the enormity of what they had accomplished began to sink in. They had faced an overwhelmingly superior force and emerged victorious. Earth was safe, at least for now. But Chen knew their troubles were far from over. The Zarkesh would return, possibly with an even larger force. And there were other threats out there in the vastness of space, dangers they couldn't even imagine. Looking out at the stars, Chen made a silent vow. They would be ready. Humanity would take its place among the galactic powers, not as conquerors, but as defenders. They would use the precursor technology not just to protect themselves, but to safeguard other worlds that might fall prey to species like the Zarkesh. The ancient fleet, awakened from its long slumber, had proven its worth. Now it would become the foundation of a new era for humanity, an era of exploration, of discovery, and of vigilance against the darkness that lurked between the stars. As the Thunderchild led the fleet back towards Earth, Admiral Sarah Chen allowed herself a moment of pride. They had faced extinction and emerged stronger. Whatever challenges lay ahead, she knew that humanity would face them head-on, with courage, ingenuity, and an unbreakable spirit. The battle was over, but humanity's journey to the stars was just beginning. Echoes of victory. The weeks following humanity's triumph over the Zarkesh were a whirlwind of activity. As Earth celebrated its narrow escape from annihilation, Admiral Sarah Chen and her crew found themselves thrust into a new role, architects of humanity's future among the stars. The Thunderchild, once a weapon of last resort, now orbited Earth as a symbol of hope and protection. Its hull, still bearing the scars of battle, gleamed in the sunlight as Chen stood before a hastily assembled council of Earth's leaders. "Ladies and gentlemen," she began, her voice echoing through the United Nations Assembly Hall, "we've won a great victory, but our work is far from over. The Zarkesh will return, and there may be other threats lurking in the depths of space. We must be prepared." The hall erupted into a cacophony of voices, fear and excitement mingling in equal measure. Chen raised a hand, silencing the crowd. "I propose the formation of a new organization, the Terran Defense Initiative. Its purpose will be twofold: to protect Earth from external threats, and to guide our species as we take our first true steps into the galactic community." As the council debated the proposal, Chen's mind wandered to the challenges that lay ahead. The ancient fleet had proven its worth, but it was just the beginning. They needed to expand, to innovate, to push the boundaries of what was possible. Her thoughts were interrupted by Dr. Aisha Patel, who approached with barely contained excitement. "Admiral," she whispered, "we've made a breakthrough with the precursor tech. I think you need to see this." Chen excused herself from the council and followed Patel to a secure laboratory beneath the UN building. There, floating in a containment field, was a pulsing orb of energy that seemed to defy the laws of physics. "What am I looking at, Doctor?" Chen asked, her voice hushed with awe. Patel's eyes gleamed. "We're calling it the Nexus Core. It's a byproduct of our research into the cosmic forge. This little sphere contains more energy than 1,000 suns, and we've only begun to scratch the surface of what it can do." Chen's mind raced with the possibilities. With this kind of power at their disposal, humanity could leap forward centuries in technological development. They could terraform worlds, create sustainable energy sources, maybe even manipulate the fabric of space-time itself. But with such power came great responsibility and great danger. "Lock it down," Chen ordered. "Top secret. No one outside this room knows about this until we fully understand what we're dealing with." Patel nodded, her excitement tempered by the gravity of the situation. "There's more, Admiral. We've detected energy signatures similar to the Nexus Core in various parts of the galaxy. I think the precursors left these behind deliberately, like breadcrumbs leading to something bigger." Chen felt a chill run down her spine. Were they being led somewhere? And if so, by whom? Or what? The universe suddenly seemed a lot larger and a lot more mysterious. As they left the lab, Chen's communicator chirped. Lieutenant Rodriguez's voice came through, tense with urgency. "Admiral, we're picking up a transmission. It's not from Earth, and it's definitely not Zarkesh." Chen's heart raced as she rushed to the command center. On the main screen, a message played out in an alien language, accompanied by a series of complex mathematical equations. "Can we translate it?" Chen asked. Rodriguez shook his head. "Not yet, but the math." "Admiral, these equations describe the structure of DNA, the composition of Earth's atmosphere, and the orbital patterns of our solar system. Whoever sent this knows a lot about us. Chen stared at the screen, a mixture of excitement and apprehension coursing through her. First contact with a new alien species so soon after their battle with the Zarkesh. It couldn't be a coincidence. Trace that signal, she ordered. I want to know where it came from. As her team worked to locate the source of the transmission, Chen couldn't shake the feeling that they were standing on the precipice of something monumental. The Zarkesh, the precursor technology, this mysterious message, all of it was connected somehow. They were pieces of a cosmic puzzle, one that humanity was now irrevocably part of. She thought back to the ancient fleet, slumbering for centuries until humanity needed it most. Had those long-dead engineers foreseen this moment? Had they known that their creations would one day propel humanity into a new era of galactic politics and cosmic mysteries? Whatever the case, one thing was clear. The battle against the Zarkesh was just the beginning. Humanity's true journey among the stars was about to begin, filled with wonders and dangers beyond imagination. As the command center buzzed with activity around her, Admiral Sarah Chen squared her shoulders and lifted her chin. Whatever challenges lay ahead, whatever cosmic dramas they were about to become entangled in, she knew one thing for certain. Humanity was ready. Cosmic crossroads. The source of the mysterious transmission was traced to a distant star system, far beyond the edges of explored space. Admiral Sarah Chen stood on the bridge of the ESS Thunderchild, watching as the swirling vortex of hyperspace gave way to normal space. Before them lay a sight that took the breath away from even the most seasoned crew members. A massive space station hung in orbit around a blue giant star, its architecture unlike anything humanity had ever encountered. It was a sprawling structure of impossible geometries, sections of it seeming to phase in and out of reality. "My God," Lieutenant Rodriguez whispered, his eyes wide with awe. "What is that thing?" Chen's response was cut short by a sudden burst of activity from the station. A beam of energy lanced out, engulfing the Thunderchild. Alarms blared as the crew braced for impact, but instead of damage, they felt a gentle tug. "We're being pulled in," Rodriguez reported, his fingers flying over the controls. "Our systems aren't responding. It's like the ship has a mind of its own." Chen gripped the arms of her command chair, her mind racing. Were they walking into a trap, or was this the next step in humanity's cosmic journey? "Stand down weapons," she ordered. "Let's see where this takes us." The Thunderchild glided into a cavernous docking bay, coming to rest alongside vessels of wildly different designs. Some seemed organic, pulsing with life, while others were so advanced they were barely recognizable as ships. As the docking procedures completed, a holographic image sprang to life on the bridge. It showed a being that defied easy description, a swirling mass of energy that somehow conveyed a sense of ancient wisdom and immense power. "Welcome, children of Earth," the being's voice resonated in their minds rather than their ears. "We are the guardians, keepers of the cosmic nexus. Your arrival marks a pivotal moment in the grand tapestry of existence." Chen stepped forward, her voice steady despite the surreal situation. "I am Admiral Sarah Chen of Earth. We received your transmission and came seeking answers." "Who are you? What is this place?" The Guardian's form shimmered, images of distant worlds and long-lost civilizations flickering within its energy matrix. "We are the last of the precursors, those you believed long extinct. This station is a nexus point, a crossroads where the fates of countless civilizations intersect. It is here that the future of the galaxy will be decided." The hologram expanded, showing a vast map of the galaxy. Points of light pulsed across its expanse, some bright and vibrant, others dim and flickering. "Each light represents a civilization," the Guardian explained. "Some, like the Zarkesh, seek dominion through conquest. Others pursue knowledge and enlightenment. And then there are those, like humanity, whose path is yet undetermined." Chen's mind reeled with the implications. The cosmic forge, the Nexus core, they're part of this, aren't they? You left them for us to find. Indeed, the Guardian confirmed. They are tools, keys to unlocking your true potential, but they are also tests. How you choose to use them will determine your place in the cosmic order. Suddenly, alarms blared throughout the station. The galactic map flickered, showing a massive fleet approaching. The Zarkesh had returned, and in far greater numbers than before. "It appears your trial begins now, humans." The Guardian's voice held a note of urgency. "The Zarkesh seek to seize control of the Nexus, to use its power to dominate all life in the galaxy. You must stop them." Chen turned to her crew, seeing the same mix of determination and fear that she felt. "How?" she asked the Guardian. "Even with the ancient fleet, we're outnumbered. We can't fight a war on this scale." The Guardian's form pulsed with energy. "You have resources beyond mere ships and weapons, Admiral. The Nexus core you discovered is but a fraction of the power contained within this station. If you can unlock its secrets, you might yet turn the tide." As if on cue, Dr. Patel's voice came over the comm. "Admiral, the Nexus core is reacting to something in the station. Its energy output is off the charts." Chen's mind raced, piecing together everything they'd learned. The ancient fleet, the precursor technology, the cosmic crossroads they now found themselves at. It all led to this moment. "Dr. Patel, Lieutenant Rodriguez, you're with me," she commanded. "The rest of you, prepare the fleet. We're about to make our stand." As Chen led her team deeper into the heart of the station, guided by the pulsing energy of the Nexus core, she couldn't help but feel the weight of history on her shoulders. In the space of a few short weeks, humanity had gone from fighting for survival to standing at the crossroads of galactic destiny. Whatever happened next would shape the future not just of Earth, but of countless worlds across the cosmos. The final battle was about to begin, and humanity's true test was at hand. The Nexus Ascendant. Admiral Sarah Chen, Dr. Aisha Patel, and Lieutenant Rodriguez raced through the twisting corridors of the cosmic nexus, following the pulsing energy of the Nexus core. Around them, the station hummed with power, holographic displays showing the approaching Zarkesh Armada. "We're running out of time," Rodriguez panted as they rounded another corner. Chen's response was cut short as they entered a vast chamber at the heart of the station. In the center floated a massive orb of swirling energy, dwarfing the Nexus core they had discovered on Earth. "The cosmic nexus," Patel breathed, her eyes wide with wonder. "It's beautiful." A familiar shimmer of energy appeared. "The Guardian. This is the true heart of our legacy," it explained. "The culmination of eons of knowledge and power. With it, you can reshape reality itself. But be warned, such power comes at a great cost." Chen stepped forward, her face set with determination. "What do we need to do?" "The Nexus requires a conscious mind to direct its power," the Guardian said. "One of you must interface with it directly. But doing so will change you irrevocably. You will become more than human, but you may lose your connection to your former self." A heavy silence fell over the group. The fate of not just humanity, but the entire galaxy hung in the balance. After a moment, Chen squared her shoulders. "I'll do it." "Admiral, no," Rodriguez protested. "We need you to lead the fleet." Chen shook her head, a sad smile on her face. "The fleet knows what to do. This is where I'm needed most." She turned to Patel and Rodriguez. "Whatever happens, promise me you'll use this power wisely. Remember what we fought for." Before they could argue further, Chen stepped into the Nexus. Energy crackled around her, lifting her off the ground. Her eyes glowed with an otherworldly light as the power of countless civilizations flowed through her. Outside the station, the battle had begun. The human fleet, bolstered by allies they had made on their journey, clashed with the Zarkesh Armada. Energy beams and missiles crisscrossed the void, ships on both sides erupting into balls of flame. But the tide began to turn as Chen merged fully with the Nexus. Reality itself seemed to warp around the battlefield. Zarkesh ships found themselves teleported into the paths of their own weapons. Miniature black holes opened and closed, swallowing entire squadrons. On the Thunderchild's bridge, Rodriguez watched in awe as the impossible unfolded before him. "It's working," he whispered. "We're winning." But victory came at a cost. As the last Zarkesh ship fell, the cosmic nexus pulsed with a blinding light. When it faded, Chen was gone, leaving only a shimmering field of energy where she had stood. The Guardian's form appeared once more. "Admiral Chen has ascended," it explained. "She has become one with the Nexus, a new guardian to watch over the galaxy." Patil and Rodriguez exchanged shocked looks. "What happens now?" Patil asked. The Guardian's form shifted, showing images of distant worlds and strange civilizations. "Now you take your place among the stars. The age of isolation is over. Humanity will join the galactic community with all its wonders and perils." As if to emphasize this point, new ships began to appear around the station, envoys from a dozen different species, drawn by the cosmic upheaval they had sensed. "Your actions here have reshaped the balance of power in the galaxy," the Guardian continued. "Some will seek alliance, others will view you with fear. How you proceed will determine the fate of countless worlds." Rodriguez straightened, feeling the weight of responsibility settle on his shoulders. "We'll face it together," he said, looking at Patel. "For Earth, for Admiral Chen, for all those who sacrificed to bring us here." Patel nodded, her eyes shining with determination. "We have so much to learn, so much to explore. This is just the beginning." As they turned to leave, to face the new reality they had helped create, a familiar voice echoed in their minds. "Remember," Chen's voice said, now tinged with the power of the cosmos, "the greatest adventures lie ahead. Make me proud." The ancient fleet, awakened to save humanity, had done far more than that. It had propelled them into a new era, one filled with endless possibilities and challenges. As the Thunderchild prepared to return to Earth, carrying news of their victory and the dawning of a new age, one thing was certain. Humanity's journey among the stars had truly begun, and the universe would never be the same.